Right, this video I will be showing you guys how to create a ramp. To create a ramp, in the earlier version, they do have the ramp tool, which is fantastic, but unfortunately, I think they remove it. However, I'm just going to share with you one of method that you can actually use to create a ramp. Now, as you can see, this is basically an outline of the ramp, which I've created by using the 2D lines. Now, it's always best to do your calculations first before you convert this into a 3D ramp, okay? So for this case, I have done that. Now, to create your ramp, I'm going to use the mesh tool, which is this one here. And of course, when you want to create a ramp, you have to make sure you check your layer and make sure you pick a layer that is suitable. And in here, I can see that there's a layer called stair and ramp. So perhaps you can use that. Now, to create the ramp using the mesh tool, it's actually quite easy. Now, with the mesh tool, it gives you like polygonal, um, rectangular, and then you have rotated rectangular as the geometry method. You can trace this manually if you choose the polygonal, or if you like, what you can do is you can simply just go hold down your spacebar and you just go click, click, and you go click. So now I have three mesh object over here. So if I hit F5, this is exactly what I will get from the mesh. And if I switch this to color mode, and as you can see by default, ArchiCAD is giving you like a grass surface and an earth surface on the side. But again, this can be changed easily by going into the setting dialog box, and all you have to do is to activate all three of the override surfaces, and then perhaps you can choose concrete surface and basically just link them. And if I hit OK, and now everything's going to look like concrete. Okay. Now, because your step up is going to be 750, so perhaps you would want to change the overall height to 750, like that. Okay. Now, obviously, the everything now is sitting at 750 millimeters high. So just to show you how you can elevate the mesh point, it's actually quite easy. Now, just to let you know, if you click on the node in the pad palette, you will have something like this. And this is known as elevate mesh point. You can actually elevate any point that you click on if you like that. Clearly, you don't want to have that as your ramp, yeah, unless you're doing like a skateboarding park or something. Anyway, so if you want to lower this part here, instead of clicking on the node, you can also click on the edge of this mesh, and then you choose this option, which is elevate mesh point, and you can just bring it down and let's click on this node here, and as you can see, you will have yourself a ramp that looks like that. Now, if you prefer this to be slightly um, lower, and of course you can always reduce that. Let's say let's try 500. Yes, you can Control D and drag this down. And of course, right now you can actually just click on this mesh, click on the edge, and then you lower this point. Same goes for this one here. You can click on the mesh, click on the edge, and then you lower it. That's it. Now, if you would like to add a handrail, yes, all you have to do is to select the railing tool. So if I double click on that, um, again, if you just want to create this railing quickly, I would suggest you to click on segment and then you click on the favorites button. And in here, you will be able to, it's actually the first one. You go to railing and then you click on the favorites button. And in here, you will be able to pick all the preset design that's already available for you. Okay, so it's up to you which one you want. Right, now to create the railing around the ramp, it's actually very easy. So I'm just going to do this manually. So I'm just going to make sure I hover my cursor here as a starting point, and you just go click, and then you have to make sure you do the second click here, and the third click over here. And just to let you know, if you would like to rotate or orbit the screen at this very moment, you can press O, and then you just rotate the view like this. Now, when you want to go back to the editing, you just hit escape once, and then it will go back to the editing mode and you can continue. And then at the end, you just double click and your rail is done. Same goes with the other side here. Just go click, click, and double click. If your railing is facing the wrong direction, just to let you know, you can click on it and then press P to flip it. That's it. That's all. It's done. Again, what you can also do is perhaps if you have a feeling that you might need to move them away for whatever reason, maybe you can consider grouping them by pressing Control G. So now it's being grouped as one. As you can see, it's already been grouped, but you'll be asking me how come you're still able to move them as separate pieces. The reason why is because the suspend group is now being turned on. So if I turn this off, if I click, see the whole thing will be one piece. So that's how you create a ramp.